Hello people of YouTube, this is Outlaw Legend 1. Today's topic is Nerf, specifically sights. Now, put this aside. I'm sure y'all remember maybe from 2006 about the new long shot, which was when sights were first introduced. For a good example, the scope, which I do not have with me right now, but who cares? That's not the subject. But I'm sure for those of you who got it, you all figured out that the scope was not accurate. The only way you could hit your target was to aim below the scope, or not even use the scope at all. So, as a good result, I decided to just not use the scope at all. And as you can see, the Nerf sights have really changed. Or evolved, however you want to put it. Now I'm sure for those of you who already know who bought it, this is the sight that came with the long strike. And I'm sure for those of you who've noticed that the instructions gave you at least 4 ways to aim. I'm also sure that a lot of you have noticed that all 4 ways were not accurate. And everybody knows a gun that's not accurate, end of story. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that all the ways it's set to aim, your darts went at least 30 degrees lower than where you were aiming. And I know because I have friends who got the same thing and have said the exact same thing. Now, my way of aiming, which is the most accurate as you can get, in fact it's very accurate. Now, I'm sure it said line up the edges with this edges, or put this little circle into this little edge. Well, it's wrong. Very, very wrong. Now, I'm sure a lot of you may be thinking, wow, well, who would use a scope who would use a sight that's not even that good? Well, a lot of you may be surprised that this is actually more accurate than you may think. You see, especially with the long strike. Now this is just the muzzle. The blaster's somewhere else. Now, a lot of my way of aiming involves the pin here. Now, right? I have at least 3 ways of aiming. One thing, you could put this little hole right there and put the pin in the very center of the hole. Just come up with your own crosshairs, but you know what I'm talking about. Or, it's not really much of a difference, but you can line up these little holes and put the pin in the very center. Gives you a little bit more of a precision shot. You know what I'm talking about? Or use these little crosshair things and put this little point with this little point. Now that's the pin. So together, don't. If you try to go down this little hole with this, all you're gonna get is a mess. So I'm gonna do a shooting test in another video, part 2, and well, you'll see what I'm talking about. You will see a dramatic difference. So just click on the link that says part 2. Well, it'll say the name, and part 2. And yeah. So, see you then.